Sig Macro, Sig P365 X-Macro Comp. Let's talk about it. All right, let's see if we can go ahead and knock this out in one take. Highly doubtful. Today we have the Sig P365 X-Macro Comp, which is the one that has the integrated comp right into the slide. Buddy of mine, Leon, over at Umpqua Survival, an Army veteran, went ahead and loaned this one to me roughly about 3 days ago, and I've been carrying it since then. I've been out to fire a few different occasions. Backstory of it, not really sure how long he's owned this one. I believe it's somewhere around 4 to 5 months, and no idea how many rounds he's put through it. I have fired a little bit over 100 rounds. I have 50 rounds of some Minuteman ammunition coming out of here in Sutherland, Oregon, and a little bit over 50 rounds of some Blazer 115 grain FMJs. Didn't fire any hollow points through it, but within those 120-ish rounds, had zero malfunctions whatsoever. Let's see, as far as magazines are concerned, he loaned it to me with one magazine. There's some minor wear on it. Outside of that, don't see any issues from some negative reviews out there. I've seen some with some really excessive wear and rusting on them. Don't see any of that on this particular mag here. As far as loading it, did not get the actual Sig Sauer speed loader that comes with it. So as far as loading it by hand, I can get up to 15 rounds, zero issues. That 16th round starts to become a little bit of a pain in the butt. And definitely want to do that repeatedly, such as at a match without a speed loader. As far as the speed loader is concerned, I use the Uplulo brand one and use that one quite often with this mag. And getting that 16th round is easy with using that speed loader. As far as that 17th round, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but is doable with the speed loader. With that being said, 17 rounds, I noticed that as far as loading into the pistol, just a basic everyday actual load, I wouldn't always get it to actually lock when the slide is in action or to the front. Notice what I would have to do is mentally be prepared for it and just force it up in there, or just to give it a constant pressure until I hear that click, and then that gets it locked in. As far as at 16 rounds, slide in action, forward, had zero issues with insert of that mag. Now obviously with that 17 rounds, if you were having problems, just obviously have your slide to the rear, insert your mag, and then go from there is another option. Or when at slide lock, going with the speed reload, obviously you won't have to worry with that 17 round mag inserting, as the slide would be locked to the rear. Let's see. Some of the other issues I had seen out there besides of the mag was rusting. As far as his pistol, both before and after shooting it, went ahead and cleaned her up, and I did not see any rust anywhere on the particular firearm. I did only do a basic breakdown. I did not remove the FCU, but I cannot see any rust developing on this particular pistol. I'd also seen in one video where a guy had mentioned gouging in the bottom of the actual barrel, right where the guide rod and spring actually attaches to it. Didn't see any of that either. Minor little scrape or wear there, but outside of that, don't see no gouging. I believe their Sig Sauer calls them X-ray sights. Huge fan of X-ray sights, always have been. Found it more than useful for me. For me, with the short period of time I've had this particular pistol, had zero issues with acquiring and hitting my targets out to 10 yards. The furthest I had actually tried with this particular pistol was 15 yards. And for me, under time of speed and everything, that's where it started to open up for me, and I did have some issues with that. I also noticed it seemed like I had to aim a little bit low on that C-size target to actually hit it. Now with that being said though, I haven't had this firearm very long, roughly about 3 days, a little bit over 100 rounds. With training, I'm sure I could get that 15-yard target easily, and as well as extend my distance with further practice with this particular firearm if I was to do so. Let's see. Recoil, for me, I'm not a small guy by any means. I didn't realize it to be all that snappy as far as recoil is concerned. With good positive grip and control, had zero issues controlling it. The only thing I kind of notice, which I always notice as I downsize my pistols, is muzzle flip as far as rapidly firing at a target or anything. I noticed right off the back in the beginning I was missing my second shot. After some firing, I kind of got the timing down as far as when to break my next shot as my iron sights came back on target. It was just trying to retrain myself to slow down for the smaller, lighter pistol from what I normally shoot. Muzzle flip is not that big of a deal. It's just a training thing. With more rounds, could also get to where I really am confident with the actual firearm and knowing the timing required prior to breaking my next shot and picking up that iron sight as it drops back on target. Flash, I did go out and shoot a little bit at night in pitch black, no light, no weapon mounted light. Yeah, it's got a flash, but all pistols will have a flash signature. It wasn't just kind of like a little fireball coming out the front. Obviously with the compensator, it was coming out the front and then also poofing up in front of me. In pitch black darkness, yeah, it was totally obvious, as it has always been with all pistols I've fired before. I did put on a weapon mounted light, which was the Streamlight 7, TLR 7 Alpha. With that there, utilizing the light at night in pitch darkness with utilizing that particular weapon mounted light to illuminate my target. The follow-up shots, the flash wasn't excessive enough to actually hinder me on actually acquiring my target for the follow-up shots. Granted, that's with distance of target, light use, environment and everything. That particular light I think goes with a 500 lumen or something like that, and I was also only practicing at night at 10 yards, so that could change if you use a much weaker light or depending on the situation that you put yourself in. Let's see. Grip and ergonomics, I definitely like it. For my size hand, it definitely does fit nicely. For my size hand, I got some pretty big hands. It kind of sits right there on the bottom, and then with the mag you get a little bit more if you have big hands. What I have found is usually anytime I get a pistol where my pinky is sitting on the bottom of the edge, I don't have the greatest consistencies from the draw. I found that to be true with this pistol also. Definitely had a lot of good draws, but it wasn't consistent. Every now and then I would get a nasty draw. And I claim what it is not having a little bit longer frame or bigger frame for my big oven mitts. But let's see, with that being said, I do know they offer a flared magwell, and that there, for at least my hand size, would probably help keep that pinky up on top of there and also be a reference, an additional reference point as I go for the draw. But outside of that, love the grip, the ergonomics. Overall pistol is really nice. As far as holsters and talking about the draw, all I had was 2 holsters to try it out with. The one provided by Leon, which he doesn't know who makes this, he just kind of came up on it, and it definitely got the job done. I'm not a big fan of a single hook. I prefer like a dual hook or something like that. And also I like to carry appendix, so this one did not have an appendix wing to help with concealment. So I can't talk on behalf of concealment, as none of the holsters I utilized for this particular pistol help aid me in concealment with the location I was trying to carry it. With that being said, with a shirt, it was obviously printing right here, as I didn't have a dedicated actual holster for it. I can't tell if that'll be the same with the dedicated appendix inside the waistband holster. But the second I put on a jacket or sweater, that issue is gone. The only other holster I tried it with is a belly band. And then this one here is by Bravo Belt. I actually use this one quite often whenever I just make a quick run outside the house and I don't want to change into something that requires a belt or anything like that, or also when going out on run. If you're going to use this in a belly band, whatever, 17 rounds is a lot of weight up here, depending on the belly band. A lot of times for just regular carry, I would carry it without retention, aiding in speed of the draw, capability of grabbing it. On that run, mine has a retention. I just had to have that on there. I noticed right off the back in the beginning of my run, it felt like it wanted to come out. So I went ahead and put that on. I was able to go ahead and finish my run from there. Let's see. I know I'm probably missing something. I think I got it all. All in all, I'm a huge fan of this pistol. Definitely think I could do much better with it if I had it for longer. Thinking about picking up one myself. It's going to be the X-Macro, the one without the compensator, not the TAC Ops, but just the X-Macro. So you'll probably see me doing maybe a review later on down the road with that particular model, maybe somewhere down the road also a follow-up model. And hopefully with that one, after some time, we'll be able to pick up my accuracy and distance with it. But currently, the P365 from Sig Sauer, the X-Macro Comp, definitely a fan of her. Sweet looking little pistol. Damn, it's 7 shots. Six in, one out. 2.62 bill drill from 7 yards.